Hey there guys, Sandro here, and welcome to Way of the Samurai for PS2. So this one has been a long time coming. Some of you guys might remember I did the original playthrough for Way of the Samurai 2 a couple of years ago, and I promised that I would follow up on that. So yeah, this is the original game that started it all. It was released in 2002 by Spike and Acquire, as you can see at the bottom. And I'm just going to read you the back of the box real quick here since I got it right in front of me. The year is 1878. The collapse of the Tokugawa shogunate has brought an end to the age of samurai. Born to a time that no longer needs or welcomes them, these samurai are a far cry from the heroes and legends that preceded them. This is a story of the way of the samurai in their final days. Your journey brings you to Rokkotsu Pass, where two factions vie for power, and you must decide the conflict. Combat, deception, and betrayal are all tools to be used at will. No two adventures are the same, as alliances shift and friends are won and lost. Yeah, so the original choose your own adventure game, a la samurai style. Intro starting again there, but yeah. So I mean, hey guys, I guess we're gonna jump right in there. I don't have any save data on this PS2 here, so we're just gonna start with normal. You know, doing everything basically as if you just got it out of the box. So yeah, as you can see, there's quite not the number of customization options here. Especially compared to Way of the Samurai 2. But we're gonna go with what we got, just the basic stuff here. You know, nothing too crazy. At least not yet. Right, and because it's our first time playing, we're gonna actually get this tutorial sequence, which honestly I don't really think that we need to go through. So I'm going to try my best to skip it over here. It's a nice little feature that they put in. But if you're familiar with the series, which, you know, it's been like 15 years by now, so if you're not, I don't really know what to tell you. So I'm not really sure which option is the correct one here. Basically, just you gotta get through it somehow. There's no way to skip this as well. I'm trying to mash here, but nothing's happening. Yeah, you can even do troll stuff like think to yourself, as if that even matters here. This is all I have on the subject of how to talk. There we go. Finally the prompt to skip the tutorial. Oh, and in case you guys are wondering, the graphics are actually a little bit upscaled here, since I am playing on PCSX2. I do officially have a copy of the game, just, putting it out there. After all, I did read from the back of the box just now. So this is mainly just for, ease of access, being able to record from my computer, and even upscaling graphics is actually a pretty nice feature, I'd say. Yeah, when this released, it was 480p. I'm pretty sure that was the standard. So it's actually looking pretty good for upscaling to 1080, I would say. Alright, so we are thrown right into the middle of the action here with a damsel in distress, it looks like. But, that's something that we are going to investigate later. Instead, we're just going to run away over here, go into this little riverbed, and I guess let that guy take her away, wherever he's going to. Yeah, no, the reason I did that is basically, at the start of this game, much like all the other Way of the Samurai titles, your character is pretty bad. I mean, he is very, very basic, as you might expect. So as you can see, you just got 1,000 life, you start off with 5 yen, and a Chuyoto, which is the, basic sword. And yeah, the game doesn't really tell you anything, doesn't give you advice, doesn't give you hints. It's basically just, hey, you're in here. So one of the first things you do want to do when you're new to the game, at least, is you want to run down here and find this guy. And I don't know his name, but you want to talk to him over here, Sakashita. And yeah, you just want to talk to him a little bit. So he's going to tell you about this iron foundry over here, and it's actually a pretty long story, to be honest. But yeah, it kind of speaks about like the ethos of the game itself. Way of the Samurai was never really one of those, casual type of games. I mean, of course you can play it casually, but if you do, you probably won't enjoy it as much as let's say someone who kind of took the time to like really get what was going on. So, like the story in this game is actually taking place a lot later compared to Way of the Samurai 2. Way of the Samurai 2, I think, took place in like the 1500s, and this game takes place in the 1800s, the late 1800s actually. And so anybody who knows a little bit of history of Japan will tell you that those two timelines are very, very different. Those two eras, rather. And so, Way of the Samurai 1 takes place at the end of the Meiji era, or I believe actually at the start of the Meiji Revolution, which kind of, it's a long story, but suffice it to say, it's a lot different compared to Way of the Samurai 2. So I was just trying to take up some time while this guy was telling us the history of this foundry. You do get some yen for doing this as well, so it's worthwhile to listen to it even if you don't really know what's going on. But yeah, that's not all we're here for. You can also not talk to this guy, sorry, you can also attack this guy, and he will not really feel bad about it, let me just put it that way. And all of a sudden, all these dudes start coming up out of nowhere, and yeah, the game doesn't again really tell you about this, but it's just one of those features, right? Like, it's an older game, it does a lot of weird stuff, and basically when you go here, you're initiating a 100-man duel. All these guys are basically clones of each other. They wield basic swords, nothing too special, and they're not really difficult opponents or anything. But they are a very large number of opponents, let's just put it that way. Like I said, it's a 100-man duel. And they will count for you, which is a little bit hilarious, In fact, later on, I'm pretty sure they even start, like, cheering you on, which is a little strange, but you know, that's just how this game works, I guess. So yeah, as you can see, I've unlocked a new move there. That's the forward thrust, the kind of grab attack after it. And so basically, the reason that I say you should go here right off the bat is to A, familiarize yourself like with the game mechanics, and B, it's to also get some yen right there. That guy dropped the little paper bill you can see, and that is very useful for basically everything in this game. Upgrading the weapons, buying items, and even doing some story stuff, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so you can do this at any point in the game, as long as there's not like a story event taking place at this location, which by the way, it's the foundry. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? The foundry there. But yeah, so by doing this, hopefully, you know, you'll get better at the game, but also you'll unlock some moves for your swords. And the way to do this is varied. You know, there's different ways to unlock moves. Like that one, all you have to do is press the heavy attack, and you'll automatically learn it. Some moves you have to like block in order to actually learn something. There's certain conditions, like if you're in the air and you parry an attack, you know, you'll learn moves. It's very random like that. So that's kind of part of the fun, like just playing, unlocking your moves randomly. Or if you're, I guess, really good, you know, you'll know how to unlock all your moves. But yeah, anyway, this game compared to Way of the Samurai 2 is actually a lot more, you could say, arcade, in the sense that you can actually just instant kill anyone. So if any of you guys are familiar with that part of Way of the Samurai 2, basically when you would push or pull an opponent, I'll try to demonstrate that right here, you would basically be able to finish them off in the next hit. But in this game, that is not the case. Everything is basically done by HP count, and each attack does a certain amount of HP. Or at least damage. HP's worth of damage, rather. But it turns out the game's actually pretty good. Like, it's pretty deep. Especially for a game that was released in 2001. Oh, and here we go. That was the 100th enemy. I always laugh at that. And you get 10 yen on top of the spoils that you got from their bodies. And he says spar, but I mean, to be honest, it looked like they were a little bit more than knocked out. Yeah, their swords are littering the battlefield here, and it doesn't look like any items remain. Although you definitely do want to take these radishes before you leave. Nobody minds. I'm pretty sure this is like an abandoned area anyway. Yeah, so it looks like we've got 31 yen. Wow, that's actually even a lot for me. Like, I was expecting not that much. So we went from 5 to 31, and we only took out 100 guys. Only. Yeah, so I guess in the next one we're gonna explore more of the pass over here, Rokkotsu Pass, and we'll see where our journey takes us. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Sandro, and I'll catch you in the next one.